All right, thanks, guys. The Heat take on the Knicks, 3:30 Eastern tip-off at Madison Square Garden in Manhattan. Miami's -8, total at 218. We saw a half a point fade of Miami and movement downward on the total. The Heat open as the 8.5 point favorite, down to -8. Total open 218.5, down to 218 even. 66% of the consensus are leaning toward Miami, 64% shaded toward the over. And right now the Knicks are plus 290 on the money line. Now if you like the Knicks in this matchup here, really they're hitting a bit of a rough patch as of late. Losers of their last 5 straight. They're also just 1-4 against the spread in those 5 games. Morris, Randall, and Robinson, they're all listed as questionable for this afternoon's action. New York also ranks in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 10 in defensive field goal percentage on their home court. Now Miami on the other side, winners of 7 out of their last 10. They beat Philadelphia, Toronto, and Indiana twice during that stretch of victories. They rank in the top 3 in shooting the 3-ball, top 3 in defensive rebounding. Now, despite Justice Winslow being ruled as out for this afternoon's game, Jimmy Butler's still averaging 21 points a game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. And Goran Dragic, 16 points a game, 5 assists for him. Of course, you can't forget about Bam Adebayo, who's Bam. I always mess up his name. Bam Adebayo. There we go. It's not Adebayo. It's not a Bayou. It's Bam Adebayo. But regardless, he's averaging 16 points a game, 11 rebounds for the Heat. Miami, they're giving up just 107 points per contest. They also rank in the top 3 in defending the 3-ball. Now, total-wise, Miami's 3-0 to the over in their last 3 games, 70% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Knicks 4-1 to the over in their last 5 themselves. I'm going to lean Miami -8 and the over 218 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Sunday's NBA action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we do daily premium sports picks on that website, beginning at just $1.99 per month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. Now, you might be wondering, well, why would I buy a package from Patreon when you're giving away all the picks for free on YouTube? And that's certainly a great thought, a great, intuition on your part. But basically, what we do here on YouTube is we handicap every single game on the board, both the side and the total. And the problem with that, if you were to bet your hard-earned money on every single game, side, and total, you're pretty much guaranteed to lose. That is not a winning formula for success. It's too many games. The math is grossly against you. The books are way too smart. They're way too sharp. Just don't do that. Don't bet every single game, man. It's like, grenades, landmines. You're going to step on a lot of them. So what we do on Patreon is we really narrow it down and focus in on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're games that I personally have action on. They're high percentage selections. And I'll tell you this much, my current record on Patreon is a whole lot better than it is on YouTube, handicapping every single game on the board, both the side and the total. The reason why we do that, we just want to produce, good content here on YouTube. We do want to formulate an opinion on every single game. We don't want to take free passes or stay away games. We'll give you an opinion on every single game, but don't bet every game. Please don't do that. Check me out on Patreon and really narrow it down and focus in on a couple premium selections. But anyway, you can check out my current record for free right now. It's on the homepage. Link for that site is in the description section below. Once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, guys, real quick, I do have a quick announcement, and then I promise you I'll get back into the program here. There's been a problem with the quick pick recap. What's happening is my viewership minutes. It shows up in my analytics part of my YouTube channel, but my viewing minutes has drastically decreased. My viewing minutes have decreased by like 45%. I mean, it was like really absurd. It was a drastic dip. So we're going to forego, unfortunately, the quick pick recap until I can get those viewing minutes back up and stable. So a very volatile dip, and I'm not sure. It may not even be because people are going right to the quick pick recap, but I have a suspicion that it is. So although the quick pick recap is valuable, it's there for you. I gotta, I gotta get my average viewing minutes up here on the program to keep the channel alive. So the algorithm works so people can see the channel. So anyway, I apologize. I know that's inconvenient. I don't want to do that. But the drastic dip in average viewing minutes is alarming. So I have to do something. I got to get rid of that quick pick recap. I apologize. Once things maybe stabilize, then we'll bring it back. But until further notice, I cannot do a quick pick recap because unfortunately I gotta get these numbers up. So anyway, guys, thank you for understanding. Let's go ahead and dive back into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Jazz taking on the Wizards, 3:30 Eastern tip-off in the nation's capital. The Jazz are the 9-point favorite, total at 223. We saw a 1-point move toward Utah and movement downward on the total. The Jazz open as the 8-point favorite, up to -9. Total open 224, down to 223. 58% are leaning Utah, 57% shaded toward the over. And right now, Washington is plus 340 on the money line. Now, if you like the Wizards in this matchup here, they're 3-1 straight up in their last 4 games. Victories against Boston and Denver during that stretch. Washington ranks in the top 5 in scoring, top 10 in three-point percentage. Bradley Beal, he's averaging 28 points a game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Davis Bertans, 15 points a game, 5 rebounds for him. Looks like Thomas Bryant, we might see him in action tonight. I've seen several places where he's been upgraded to questionable. So keep an eye on that. Let me know in the comments section below whether that is true or not. But I have seen several places saying that Thomas Bryant has been upgraded to questionable. So let me know in the comments section below. Washington, they rank in the top 5 in home scoring. They're averaging 116 points per contest on their home court. Meanwhile, Utah on the other side, kind of struggling against the point spread on the road. Out of their 20 road games, they successfully covered the spread in just 9 of them. They also ranked 19th in road scoring, 18th in free throw percentage. Now, total-wise, the Jazz are 2-0 to the over in their last couple of games. Washington, 22-16 to the over for the season. I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me Washington plus 9 and the over 223 in that game. Next matchup, Hawks taking on the Nets, 6 o'clock Brooklyn. The Nets are minus 7.5, total at 229. We saw a half-a-point move toward Brooklyn and movement downward on the total. The Nets open as the 7-point favorite, up to minus 7.5. Total open 231, down to 229. 61% are leaning Brooklyn, 51% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Hawks are plus 275 on the money line. Now, similar to me, the Hawks are really banged up right now. Alex Len, Trae Young, DeAndre Hunter, they're all listed as questionable for tonight's action. Parker and Fernando, they are out. They're not playing. Atlanta's just 2-8 straight up in their last 10. They suffered losses to Washington, Chicago, and Cleveland during that stretch. They also rank in the bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 5 in offensive rebounding. Now, Brooklyn, I'm seeing several sources on the Brooklyn side that they're expecting to see Kyrie back today. So, once again, that's another case. Let me know if that is true or not. Give me a shout in the comments section. But, once again, I've seen several sources that say that Kyrie is expected to possibly see some minutes here today. Now, Brooklyn ranks in the top 3 in offensive rebounding, top 3 in defensive field goal percentage. Spencer Dinwiddie's averaging 23 points a game, 6 assists. And Karis LeVert, 16 points a game, 5 rebounds for him. The Nets rank in the bottom 5 in home offensive rebounding. They're also in the top 10 in defending the 3-ball on their home court. Total-wise, Brooklyn 4-2 to the over in their last 6. Atlanta 13-8 to the over when traveling. I'm going to lean toward the home chalk in this one. Give me Brooklyn minus 7.5 and the over 229 in that contest. Next game, Warriors taking on the Grizzlies, 6 o'clock Memphis. The Grizzlies are minus 6.5, total 227. 66% are leaning Memphis, 52% shaded toward the over. Right now, Golden State's plus 235 on the money line. Now, the Warriors have successfully covered the point spread in their last 2 straight. They're also 60% against the spread in their last 10. They rank the top 3 in free throw percentage. They have successful point spread covers over the likes of the Clippers, Bucks, and Rockets within their last 10 games. Now, Memphis, on the other side, struggling at home this season. They're just 9-12 straight up on their home court. They rank dead last in points allowed at home. We're looking at 118 points per contest in that category there. And Memphis is 80% to the over in their last 10, 14-7 to the over on their home court. I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me Golden State plus 6.5 and the over 227 in that game. Next matchup, Spurs, Raptors, 6 o'clock Toronto. The Raptors opened as the 3-point favorite, now minus 3.5. Total open 220, up to 220 and a hook. 59% are leaning Toronto, 66% shaded toward the over. Right now the Spurs are plus $1.40. The Spurs have won 2 out of their last 3 games. Boston and Milwaukee were the victims of that little winning streak there. Well, not a streak, but a successful patch of games. Now, San Antonio, they are 6-3 against the spread in their last 9. They rank in the top 10 in scoring, top 3 in offensive field goal percentage. DeMar DeRozan's averaging 22 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. LaMarcus Aldridge, 19 points a game, 8 rebounds for him. San Antonio ranks in the top 10 in offensive rebounding, top 3 in shooting the 3-ball. Now, on the other side, we're looking at a Toronto squad who failed to cover the point spread in 3 out of their last 4. They're also just 3-5 against the spread in their last 8. They failed to cover against the likes of Charlotte and Portland recently, and they rank in the bottom 10 in offensive field goal percentage. Now, one more thing to add here about Toronto, they do rank in the bottom 5 in defensive rebounding as well, so keep an eye on that. Now, 2 out of Toronto's last 3 games did get over the total. They're also 11-9 to the over at home. Meanwhile, San Antonio, 4-0 to the over in their last 4 straight, 80% to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean San Antonio plus 3.5 and the over 220.5 in that contest. Next game, Hornets taking on the Suns, 8 o'clock Phoenix. The Suns are minus 8.5, total at 218 and a hook. We saw a half a point move toward Phoenix and movement upward on the total. The Suns open as the 8-point favorite, up to minus 8.5. Total open 218, up to 218 and a hook. 55% are leaning Charlotte, 68% shaded toward the over. And right now, Charlotte is plus 320 on the money line. Now, the Hornets, kind of struggling as of late. Losers of 8 out of their last 10. They covered just 30% of their games in those 10 as well. They're also really struggling away from home this year. 21 games away from home, just 8 victories in those contests. They're averaging just 104 points per game. They rank in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 5 in offensive rebounding. Now, Phoenix on the other side, 4-3 against the spread in their last 7. They successfully covered the point spread against the Lakers and Denver within their last 10 games as well. Phoenix ranks in the top 10 in scoring. They're also 11th in offensive field goal percentage on their home court. Devin Booker, 26 points a game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. And Kelly Oubre, 18 points a game, 6 rebounds for him. Now, total-wise, Phoenix is 13-9 to the over on their home court. Charlotte, 70% to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean Phoenix minus 8.5 and the over 218.5 in that contest. Next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Clippers taking on the Nuggets, 8 o'clock Denver. The Clippers are minus 1, total 223. 54% are leaning Los Angeles, 56% shaded toward the over. Right now, Denver is plus 105 on the money line. Now, Denver's 3-2 straight up in their last 5 victories against Dallas and Indiana. They rank the top 5 in points allowed, top 10 in defensive rebounding. Nikola Jokic, 19 points a game, 10 rebounds, 6 assists for him. And Will Barton, 7 rebounds a game, 15 points for the Nuggets. This Denver squad is giving up just 103 points per contest on their home court. Now, the Clippers on the other side, they failed to cover the point spread in their last 3 straight. They failed to cover against the likes of Golden State, the Knicks, and Memphis. They rank 15th in defensive rebounding, 16th in points allowed on the road. And total-wise, Denver is 12-8 to the under on their home court. I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me Denver +1 and the under 223 in that game. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and dive into our shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we do daily premium sports picks on that website, beginning at just $1.99 per month. Shout out to Stephen Lewis, Ant Ruga, Vernon Williard, Dr. Weidensvig. That's I tell you, I think I give you a different pronunciation every day. Dr. Weidensvig. Shout out to Kenneth Barneycastle, Ben Shepard, Gio Lopez, Panama Boy from, you guessed it, Panama. Shout out to Eugene Hart, Big Vegas 05, Bin Ready G, Jazian Larice, and last but certainly not least, shout out to Double J 9910. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on Patreon, where we do daily premium picks on that site, beginning at just $1.99 per month. But most importantly, guys, I do have to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. There you go. Happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you on patreon.com/BrockPage.